All right, here at punchtheface.com, we are joined by the Wonderboy himself, Stephen Thompson. He's fresh off of a fantastic, sensational knockout here this past summer against Jake Ellenberger. But he's right now rehabbing a knee injury, but nevertheless, he's taking out time to talk with us here on punchtheface.com. So, Wonderboy, how you doing here, man? How's the knee feeling? Let's put that out there. How's the knee feeling? How's rehab going?
Oh, man, it's going great. I ended up tearing the meniscus to my left knee. So this is actually my fourth surgery on this knee, but it's feeling good, man. I was up and walking on it the next day. But it's feeling great. Slowly getting back into training, and hopefully, we'll get a fight here pretty soon.
Well, absolutely. Like I said, man, the last time we saw you here was in July at the Ultimate Fighter finale against Jake Ellenberger with a highlight reel spinning heel kick, a hook kick that knocked out Jake Ellenberger, knocked him down, and you pretty much finished the show there. Now, with you having such an extensive background in kickboxing, and you've had your mixed martial arts career going here as well, where does that finish rank amongst your favorites in all of combat sports that you participated in throughout the years?
Definitely, my number one as of right now, just because, it was on I was at a 4-fight winning streak then. It was my first main event for the tough finale, and the ending to a spectacular weekend for the UFC. The day before you had Conor McGregor fighting Chad Mendez, Rory McDonald fighting Robbie Lawler. So the whole weekend was just crazy, but to finish it off with that spin hook kick, it's got to be up my number one, man.
Well, absolutely. It's definitely amongst the whispers and mentions for KO of the year, so it's definitely going to get some accolades from some websites here before the year is out. But hopefully before the year is out, we see you back in the cage. Now, we know that, like you said, you're rehabbing the knee injury. Are you looking to try to get back at it here before the year is out, or are you targeting first quarter of 2016 to get back in the cage?
Well, I would love to get back in there before the year's out. I know the top 7 guys right now already have fights coming up. I want to keep moving forward. The only guy right now that doesn't have a fight and is ranked number 9 is Terry Staffordine. Would love to step in the cage with him. He's a really good martial artist. I know he's just got his black belt for jiu-jitsu, I believe. But he's a stand-up guy, and I think we would put on a good show. But as of right now, I'm just going to get back in shape is what the plan is. And hopefully if anybody gets injured, I can step in there and fill in. But if not, we're looking at January.
Now, as you said, a lot of the guys that are amongst the top 10 are in action. The welterweight division kind of got a little bit of a weird, I don't want to call it a shakeup per se, but what happened here this past weekend with Johnny Hendricks being unable to make weight and had issues with the weight cut and couldn't fight Tyron Woodley. He really didn't drop in the rankings too much. He dropped about 2 spots here in the UFC rankings this week. What do you think is the current state of the division? And with Hendricks not being able to make the weight, is it fair to keep him in the division since that fight got scrapped? Or do you give him the benefit of the doubt and maybe he get another shot at a welterweight bout the next time out?
Well, to be honest with you, man, Johnny Hendricks cuts a lot of weight. We were actually signing at Plastic, I think about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. Actually, it was when he was getting ready to fight George St. Pierre. And at the time, at the booth, at the Arnold Classic, he told me he was walking around about almost 230, man. And that's just way too big of a cut for him. And it wears and tears on the body, as you can tell. I think he was hospitalized or something like that. He ended up having some blockage going on in his intestines, but I hear rumors that Dana White's going to make a move to 185 just because, it's unhealthy for him to cut that much weight. So we'll see where he goes, man. I don't think that he's going to be staying around in the 170 division too much longer. I think he's going to move to 185. So it's on Dana White and Johnny Hendricks, so hopefully we'll hear something here pretty soon about where he's going to end up.
Now, would it be fair, because you're in this division, would it be fair to everyone else in the division if Tyron Woodley now all of a sudden may get that next shot at the champion after Robbie Lawler finally has his next bout and he defends the title, and say he wins, and it's should Woodley be up next since he was unable to get that fight? Or with you being in the division as well, you say, hey, I want to fight. Give me a fight. Why not let Tyron actually beat someone else before he gets that crack? Do you think that's something that should happen within the division? Another fight for Woodley against someone else in the top 10, or Is it just going to be one of those things how to see how it plays out?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where you kind of have to see where it plays out. I mean, I think Carlos Condon's got the next crack at the title right now. Tyron Woodley, I think he was ranked number 5, I think, or 4 or 5. I'm not sure.
They got him up to 2 right now.
Oh, he's number 2 right now. Wow. All right. Well, I guess if he's ranked number 2, let him. We'll see what happens with Robbie Lawler and Carlos Condon. And we'll put him out. Put him out there. I think he's been crushing in the division right now, and I think he deserves that next shot. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter who I step in the cage with. I'm ready. Just mentally, I'm ready to step out there. And I'm 32 years old. I got a small window to kind of do what I want to do. And I think right now is my time, man.
Well, and speaking of something you're doing right now, we do know you're going to be helping out current middleweight champion Chris Weidman as he prepares for Luke Rockhold. Now, how cool is it of a thing that not only that you get to train with somebody like Chris and learn from a champion, but he also pretty much co-signs you here and said, saying that you're a serious problem for anyone in the welterweight division. Like, how cool is that to hear that from a champion and a guy who's well respected like him? Put that out there and say, yo, this is the next guy. You need to keep your eye on him. How cool is it that he actually gave that support, that vocal support to the media like that?
Man, that's huge. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a champion for a reason. He's a tough guy, great person, good family man. But to hear that coming out of his mouth, I mean, it's no words can really describe it, man. It's like, it's just like, wow. He really said that. Of course, we're very close, and we became good friends, and him and his family and my family became good friends. And, it's huge to have him in my corner and in my training camps. He is a champion for a reason, and to have him be a part of my training is awesome. And it definitely helped me out for my last few fights. Of course, when you got somebody as big and as strong and as just as talented as Chris Weidman sparring with you and trying to take you down every time, of course, still trying. He does take me down, relentlessly, but it makes anybody at 170 seem easy, and just his work ethic and just being there, probably and watching him, being able to separate his training with his time with his family, and he makes it work. And like I said, he's the champ for a reason. He's just a man. He's a cool dude.
Absolutely. Now, as you said, you're 32 and you say, your window is short here in the world of mixed martial arts. I'm going to say, by the way, 32 is not old. I'm 33. I got a late jump at this media thing, so I look at it like this from this aspect. You're never too old to do anything to a certain extent. So don't say that you're too old and your window's closed. And hell, we've seen Randy Couture fight in his 40s. So, it can happen. But, as far as once your professional career is done, what have you already started lining up things for that outside of the cage or thinking about that? Because a lot of fighters, especially young guys, especially that I talk to, have no clue of what they're going to do once their fighting career is over. Is that something that's ever crossed your mind here over the last few years?
Oh yeah, man. We have a family-run business in Centerville, South Carolina, Upstate Karate, competitive team, Team Pitch Black. We've been we've been in business for over 32 years. So, we got about 750 students, so we're killing it right now. And I know most professional fighters, all they do is eat, sleep, and train, man. But me, I have a passion to teach. It's like my first love, and teaching since I was 15 in the martial arts. Started the martial arts when I was 3. Started helping teaching when I was 12, and started teaching classes actually when I was 15, which made me a better martial artist. Actually going there and teaching the kids and the adults. I'm the head kids instructor now at Upstate Karate. So that's what I'm gonna fall on, man, and having a blast doing it. And very successful business. We're one of the top 10 biggest schools in the nation. So in the small town of Centerville, South Carolina, it's crazy. But yeah, man, I've thought about it, and that's what I want to do, man, for the rest of my life. I just love teaching and giving back to the future of the martial arts, man, and it's awesome.
Well, absolutely. Now, one thing that I said to you before we started recording here is that over the last, I guess, week or so, and especially here via social media, I've seen you've been doing a lot of interviews, getting yourself out there this week and getting the name and the buzz going again. Dana White kind of said something recently, kind of didn't set well with me in regards to Stipe Miocic, the heavyweight, saying he didn't get a title shot because he wasn't popular enough. Do you think, as a fighter, fighters are more obligated to do more media to get that buzz, to get their name out there, to keep their name rolling in between fights? Or is that something that, maybe you kind of want to have some downtime and get away from the sport for a minute if you're not fighting?
Well, I think it's important that, this is your job. Your job is to step out there in the octagon, face somebody, put on a good show. But you got to keep your name out in the limelight, in people's eyes, people reading about you. And the more they read about you, the more they develop almost like a relationship with you, and kind of understand where you're coming from, which makes it more personable for them and more important for them. They want to have that guy out there they can cheer for, or that guy out there who they don't like. You got characters out there like that, but you got to keep your name, your face out there in the media, keeping it fresh. And I think it does help you get that title shot. But as long as you go out there putting on a show, I think no matter what, Dana White's going to enjoy that. The fans are going to enjoy that, and that's what I want to do as a martial artist and as a UFC fighter. To be as exciting as possible. But now that I'm on some downtime because of my knee injury, I do want to keep my name out there. That way, people are still talking to me, and hopefully, maybe after my next fight, depending on how well I do, or maybe my second fight, I get that title shot.
Well, absolutely. Well, we enjoy talking to you here on PunchTheFace.com. We like fighters who have energy, and you have a ton of it, we can tell. So we definitely appreciate that because, like I've said, you've been having to do a lot of media here as of late, and then, you're joining us, so we appreciate anyone taking out the time and having the energy to talk because sometimes we get people who are sleepy or who are grumpy. Last thing I want to do is talk to somebody during weight cut week is probably the worst time to ever talk to a fighter. I'm just going to put that out there. So I'm glad I hit you when you're not during a weight cut because you can definitely tell that fighters' energy is way different when they're cutting weight. But we appreciate you taking up the time now. Steven, definitely give a shout out to, as you said, your gym, but make sure you shout out any other sponsors, anything else you got going here outside of the cage right now.
Awesome, man. I just want to shout out to Upstate Carney Team Pitch Black. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Wonderboy MMA, also on Twitter at Wonderboy MMA. So check me out, follow me, and see how my training camp and what's going to be happening for the Wonderboy next.
Well, absolutely. Well, Steven, again, we appreciate you taking out time. Best of luck in rehabbing that knee injury. I hope to see you back in the cage here as soon as possible and making waves there in the welterweight division here as the year closes out and through the top of 2016.
Thanks, my friend. I had a pleasure with it. I've had a pleasure talking to you, and hopefully we can do it again sometime.
Absolutely, my man. Well, you take it easy. And again, thank you for joining here on PunchTheFace.com.
Thanks, brother. Have a good one.
You too.